welcome to Where Clay Meets Yarn. Today is Friday, October 8th.
This is Charan from Creative with Clay.
And I'm Nancy Torrance from Schmutzarella Yarns. And this is episode 4. Can't believe we've made it this far.
Yeah, I think we'll say that in every episode until we are at episode 7, and then we're like, okay, I'm done with this.
No, now our goal is to make it through episode 8 because you just gave us a give up point. Oh, I feel like episode 4 means that this has been about a month, which, I mean, 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That feels like a significant portion of time.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel that significant too, because we have been chatting like this for, such a long time.
Yeah.
That now the only difference really is we push the record button and then spend time editing everything out. Well, we don't edit anything out really. No. It's really like, we need pictures for this. Send me pictures. I need to put pictures here. So.
No, you know what the real difference is? I don't know if you've had this interaction yet, but I've had a couple of people now that I didn't realize were watching the podcast refer to something to me from the podcast. And then I had this moment of, wait, how do you know that? I've only talked about that with Charan, which is very surreal. Like I've had a couple of people mention that they like my plant babies, morphing minis, which I shared last episode, yeah. And I still haven't, they're listed on my site. If you like them, you can go get them, that's fine. But I haven't gotten around to actually promoting them on Instagram. So it took me a couple of times before I realized that the only way that people would have seen them were either if they were randomly on my site or they were watching the episode. So that's cool. So thank you for the people who I'm talking about. You hopefully know who you are.
That is cool. My similar thing was Rebecca from Daedalus Spinning Wheels messaging me and going like, oh, so we really don't know the gender for the sparrow, or for Tweety essentially. I'm like, yeah, we kind of went into discussing that without thinking about what we were talking about.
Wait, we're supposed to think about what we're talking about before we talk about it? That doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for me at all. I thought today's episode, I said, okay, I might have a plan. That way I'll know exactly what to talk about. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see where the conversation goes. I can't write stuff down and talk about it.
Yeah, no. I just make it up as I go.
Yeah.
Which now that you've said that about Daedalus, I realized I totally forgot to go grab what I've been spinning on Tweety. Oops.
Did you finish your spin, or are you close?
I have not finished my sock spin. I am 2.5 bobbins into it. So I have one more bobbin of singles. So I think I have, it's about an hour and a half of spinning left ahead of me on the singles. And then I need to let them rest. And then I need to ply them. So I'm close to done on that. I feel like I have the bulk of the spinning behind me now.
Now you don't rewind the bobbins, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm a big believer in rewinding bobbins. And I'm glad that my thoughts on that were confirmed by the latest Ply magazine, which is on consistency, where this has been a hot topic, I guess, among some spinners to rewind or not to rewind, but there were some good conversations regarding that subject. So rewinding 1,
So why rewind? Convince
It
me.
is to even out the twist, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And when you're rewinding, you're not just rewinding. You really place your bobbin really further away from you, like
Mm,
10 feet away. And so that the twist in that single really gets to distribute itself along that 10 feet. So your overall twist gets evened out. Um, Another thought is when you are spinning, but this I don't think I read it in Ply magazine. The second thing I'm talking about is when you are spinning, you're kind of compressing the fibers in one direction,
mhm.
like away from the orifice.
Yeah.
And so when you want to ply, you kind of, if you want a good worsted spun, I think it makes sense to have the ply also going in that same direction rather than now flipping it around and pushing it through.
Mm.
Because now you're kind of, if you're dragging your hands on the singles, you're kind of dragging those fibers in the opposite direction that you spun them in.
So for rewinding, if I decided to get a wild hair and rewind these bobbins that I have, do I need to do something special to do that? Do I shove them back through the wheel? Like, how do I
No.
rewind the bobbins?
You might need a drill machine or a storage bobbin or something on which you rewind the wheel. I mean, rewind the singles.
Yeah. See, I don't have that, which is why I haven't done it before. Yeah. I have wound onto, I've made a cake on a toilet paper roll, that version of it, which
you could do that too,
is what I'm going to do if I don't finish my spin in time to ship Tweety off to the next person. But no, I've always just spun straight from the bobbins that I spun on.
Yeah, and I honestly think there is really nothing wrong with yarn like that. Mm-hmm. It is for me, it's one reason is because I kind of like to rest my singles forever, and because I want my bobbins free, I put everything on storage bobbins, and there's stuff sitting on storage bobbins which is around 4 years old too. So my reasons for rewinding are just basically, well, it can go on a storage bobbin and then I can spin the kind of yarn I want from it because I have the singles ready.
Yeah.
And then I can combine different singles from my different spins if I want something for a bigger project. That is my main reason for rewinding. But I also like the distribution of the twist. That's the other reason why I rewind, because I do it similar way like I talked about.
Yeah.
Keeping that bobbin really far away from your rewinding spot, so it just evens out that twist. But yeah, it's I think it's a personal thing, but it works as long as you like the yarn you're making. It's all good.
Yeah. See, I think when the most recent Kickstarter from Electric Eel Wheel, the yarn measurer, I don't remember what he actually called it, but it's over and done with now. We're waiting for production.
Yeah.
You back that too, right?
Yeah, it's I think it's to count your yardage.
Count the yardage.
Right? Yeah.
I think when that comes in, I will probably start rewinding all of my bobbins, because I find it more likely that I will want to spin just one bobbin, measure it, and then break it up for my singles that way. But that's something for future Nancy to worry about, because that isn't due to ship until next spring, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. I've tried different yardage counts. Like the way I kind of do it right now is I wind it on the yarn on the Swift. And then I just count the number of rotations. I use one of these apps which gets triggered every time a magnet passes through it.
Mm.
And I have a magnet on the edge of my Swift, which will, go close to my phone and count a revolution. So I don't have to sit there and count either. I just
Yeah,
spin it
that's
up,
nice.
it counts everything, and then I just figure out yardage from that.
But
So
that's for
it works.
counting. That's for counting final yardage, though. You're not doing
Final
that with your
yardage, yes.
singles.
Yeah, so that's what this tool kind of, because I rewind anyway,
Yeah.
I'm like, it'll be nice to kind of know the exact yardage of my single.
Yeah.
When I rewind it into a single bobbin, so that if I need to ply it with some other bunch of yarns for a bigger project, I can see how much yardage I have in that bobbin of that
Yeah.
single, and then kind of go from there. So it has its advantages, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But until then, I think I don't think I have enough of a reason to rewind my bobbins.
Yeah. And talking about spinning, I did a little spinning as well.
Oh yeah?
I've been kind of missing my spinning mojo. I have not been spinning a whole lot. I just did that art yarn I had talked about maybe 2 episodes back,
Mhm.
and with the logs. And so I actually spun some on my Sparrow, the gradient that I was spinning on
Ooh.
Sona. And this the fiber is beautiful. I don't remember the fiber content. Of course, I should have come prepared, but I don't take notes, so it's fine. But it's from Corgi Hill Fiber Farm.
Oh, I
I
love their
think that's
fiber.
the business name. But she has a beautiful gradient. I think it's around 5 or 6 ounces of a full gradient from one color, switching over to different colors all the way to the end.
Mhm.
And the thing with the gradient is it's really nice, but when you're spinning, you think you're spinning just one solid color because the transition is so slow.
Yeah.
And even on the Sparrow, because the bobbin is so small, you don't see a transition of color. You just see one solid color on the bobbin at all times. So I'm waiting. I'm almost through the first bit of color, I think. But I'm waiting for the bobbins to fill up so I can see the cross section to see that there
To
was
see
actually a
it, yeah.
gradient.
So are you spinning it all as one single and then chain plying, or did you
Yeah.
split the braid?
Yeah, I'm going to chain ply it. I didn't split the braid. I'm just spinning it end to end, and I plan on chain plying that. So yeah, just to have that whole gradient
That's
to
gonna
the thing it's
be
supposed to be.
I'm sure that's gonna be a really beautiful gradient. It just, yeah, that means you're gonna have really big sections of all the same color.
Yeah. And we'll see. And then I also did a little morning spinning with on the Lendrum
Oh yeah.
for my sweater spin,
Mhm.
which I think I started during Tour de Fleece. And I'm so close to halfway through.
Yay. I was thinking
And
that you had started it before the tour.
did I? I can't remember, or maybe I did.
It was some point over the summer.
Yeah, some point over the summer, and I made good progress in the beginning, and then it stalled because I got all the wheels and I wanted to spin on all the wheels, and then I couldn't decide which wheel to spin on. So it's just being like even now I'm tempted to move my sweater spin on the Sparrow or the
Really?
Magpie. Yeah. Or the Magpie too, because on the Magpie I could just pile that whole thing on.
Yeah, but a big part of doing it on your Lendrum was so you had the treadle wheel lazy
Yeah.
morning
Yeah.
vibe.
I do like the morning spin with the Lendrum making its clacking sound, and just starting slow with the morning, and
Yeah.
in my thoughts what all needs to get done, and then I suddenly panicked with what all needs to get done, and then I said, okay, stop spinning, you have stuff to get done.
Yeah. See, that that was definitely, you started before tour, because you started that before your parents came to visit.
Yes. Yes.
So that was
that's
early
true.
summer.
It was
I
early
remembered
summer.
things.
Yeah, I have no recollection. I sometimes now browse through photographs to show someone something, and I'm going through my phone and going back, and I'm going like, wow, so much stuff happened last year and the year before that. Oh, I remember when I did that. Oh, remember when I was English paper piecing? Oh, remember when I started this? Oh, I
Yeah,
never
that was just
completed
last
that.
year.
Yeah, but it just feels like so much information on the phone. And it goes like, oops.
Well, speaking of trying different and weird crafts,
Mhm.
I didn't do much or any. I didn't do any. I'll be straight with you. I didn't do anything on my Halloween wreath
Oh,
because I put all of that energy into my haunted house.
your diamond painting?
No,
Oh,
the plastic canvas.
yes, yes.
Oh, that's a good angle on it.
Yeah.
So I still have to do the detailing on the window, add bars to the window and add like doorknobs and outline the
Mhm.
doors. But I have that piece done.
I like the shading in the windows. That looks like real light in there.
Yeah. And I have this piece done. So that's going to go like, and it's going to go on the side there.
Oh,
So you're starting to see some of the three-dimensional
yeah.
goodness. And then I have the rest of the tower sides done as well. They are not as
So you
interesting.
had done all the embroidery bit first and then you cut it up, or did you
I
cut it up
did
in sections?
I did all of the embroidery on this one and then cut it out, which
Uh-huh.
is how I was going to do all of it. But you see how close my stitches are to the edge here?
Yeah.
I ended up clipping some of my yarn, which
Yeah,
is
not a
not
good
good.
idea.
So the rest of them I'm cutting out first
Yeah.
and then filling them in. So
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 you do a
yeah.
whip stitch and kind of fill up
Mhm.
them while you're joining?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have this many pieces done now. I
Nice.
still have a lot more to do. I have the other sides
Mm-hmm.
of the house, obviously, and then the roof and the chimney
Mm-hmm.
and the tower roof has its own little thing. But that has been my non-standard, usual, whatever, crafty project this week. I've really been enjoying it.
That's good.
I definitely don't think I'm going to get it done in time for Halloween, but I'm okay with that. Because Halloween all the time. Because like my shirt says, treat every day like Halloween.
Yeah. Eat all the candy, basically.
Yes. I had a specific amount of joy today.
Mm-hmm.
I had a doctor's appointment, had to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine, everything's fine. But that was where I had to go. And so I walked into a hospital wearing this shirt, and that just kind of gave me joy of eat all the candy. I got to get my fun anywhere
Yeah.
I can, right?
Yeah. I think the best part I like about October, I know for you it is Halloween and everything about Halloween.
Mhm.
For me, it is the fall colors and everything turning colors into the yellows, oranges, and the reds and the burgundies and all of that. So for me, that's the reason why I like this time of the year, especially when we have these like a day today. It's like so nice and sunny out, and you can just see all the beautiful colors out. It's just amazing,
Yeah.
and I'm and it's translating a lot into whatever I'm doing, which can be a good thing or which can be a bad thing. I don't know.
It's
But
a good
talking
thing.
about which, um, look at the progress I'm making.
Oh, I really love that.
It's happy fall, you all.
Yeah, it
And
is.
it's the gradient is just looks amazing, and I can't wait to switch to the Mrs. White's demise, because
Yeah.
this is then going to turn into almost black, and then from black it's going to go gray.
Yeah, that's going to be really
So
neat.
it's, and I'm almost done. Like these are 5. I have just one more color repeat
Wow, that's
in
knitting
this
up really
gradient.
fast.
It is. So I'm kind of pretty close to being halfway done. And this is a blanket. So I've been having a lot of fun doing this. And the other fall thing that I've been doing is, now I will share what I'm going to share, is this guy.
Oh, neat.
So I did finish up my previous quilt. I finished the quilt top. I have not finished quilting as such, but this is an improv triangle quilt. It's a sew along happening with Nicholas Ball, and the sew along is all on Instagram. He's posting videos of the entire process and everything. But and up till now, you are only supposed to cut the triangles, but I couldn't wait, and I have his book, so I'm like, I have his book. I know what needs to be done. I'm just going to go for it and see where it goes. So very fall colors,
So
and
impatient.
so impatient, but at the same time, I don't know if this is how the entire quilt will be.
Yeah.
I'm having my doubts as to if I want to leave it like that or do something on the borders or something, or have this just as part of the quilt and have a whole bunch of negative space in it.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So I would like to make something bigger than a baby size quilt or a wall hanging. So that's why.
Oh, cool. What is do you know what the name of the quilt along is?
It's the Improv Triangle Sew Along.
Okay.
That's a hashtag.
Okay, cool.
I've probably goofed it up. When they have more than one word in a hashtag, it's going to get messed up.
Well, that's a good starting place anyway. Probably just go to his Instagram page to find it.
Yeah,
Then.
his Instagram is Quilts from the Attic.
I think
Gosh,
that's what it
my
is.
memory, I'm not making connections today. So all the
It's
links are
okay.
going to be at the bottom of our video. So
That's why
that's
I look it
Nancy's
up for the
job.
show notes.
Yeah,
It's all good. I got you. It's all good.
I'm just going like, what's people's names?
Let's see. With make-alongs, I have been. Did I bring it over? I did. I made a little progress on my ghosts, which doesn't look like I made any progress at all. But this time I put in, let's see, here it is. I'm into the 3rd gradient color.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you can really see it's getting darker at the edge.
Yeah. Your waist is getting skinnier is what is happening.
But I put in this really cute kitty stitch marker that's not going to focus because why would it? But that's where I was last time. So I've done 4 rows since then, which doesn't feel like a lot, but this thing is getting pretty big and it's all charted and I have to pay attention to it. So
yeah,
it's slow moving, but we're getting there. The final clue was released today. So if you want to see what the whole thing looks like, go check out Lift Your Spirits MCal hashtag on Instagram and you can see spoilers.
So how what I wanted to ask, so how far along are you? Are you on
I
towards the
am
end?
nearing the end of clue 3. So
There are
I'm
4
about at the
clues.
halfway point. There's 6
Okay.
clues.
There's 6 clues. Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. And then because I'm, you know what, I'm just going to say it. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. I really want to do the West Knits Shawlography mystery knit along.
Okay, maybe it's my fault because
It's your
I
fault.
started it this morning.
You
I think it's
started
all
it
Stephen
2
West.
weeks
No,
ago.
it's Stephen West's fault because he's every time I see a post of his talking about the mystery knit along, I'm just replying back to that. Stop tempting me with this. Stop tempting me. And it's like he's just so good at saying like, come here. I'll make this month so much more fun than you can imagine.
Every year I think about doing it, and I've gotten burned by his mysteries before. The last one that I did while it was new was Color Craving, and I did not enjoy that shawl, and I did not finish it. But I was looking through his past years of mystery knit-alongs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only one that I don't like, really.
Mm.
There's a couple that aren't really my style, but all of the others I've really enjoyed, and there's several of them I still want to make. The only one that I ever did start to finish was Exploration Station, and I love that shawl. I lost that shawl. Can you believe it? I lost that shawl.
That was
I've
actually
been meaning to
my
make another.
very first mystery as well. And actually, that was when I just kind of started to knit. I had just knit the Boneyard and I had met Stephen West for the first time in Flesh and Blood. And that following year, he had this mystery knit along. I had no clue what mystery knit along meant. And I was like, sure, we'll get clues. I kind of was wondering that maybe we'll just get a clue and we have to figure out how to knit a pattern. Like I was that clueless about it. But of course, we're getting directions. And I used 2 strands of lace weight yarn to make
Ooh.
that. Called for fingering weight, but I did that, and I did the whole shawl as it is. So it was first time me doing slip stitches, brioche, chevrons, and like I think it had an I-cord edging to it as well. Like it had everything thrown into it, and yeah, so it basically taught me a lot of stuff about knitting and all the stitches.
That's the thing that I love about his knit-alongs is when I did Exploration Station, I think I knew most of those skills. I think that might have been the first time with the I-cord edging, though.
Yeah,
It always feels like I end up learning something new from them, though.
that's the thing, and you never get bored, right? Because it like
It's always
it
so
changes so
interesting.
much, and it's always exciting to see what the next thing is going to be and how your colors are going to play, because you've kind of made those decisions in the very beginning. You're just like
Yeah.
going, I hope this works.
So I have successfully avoided his mystery knit-alongs the past several years. There was one, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one that's like a really big V with the big brioche section in the middle, and then it's like it has wings.
Yes.
I started that one, and then life got crazy and I lost my mojo on it, and that was it. But I swore up and down I wasn't going to do it this time around. And then this morning, I get this text from Charan. Have you seen the spoilers?
It's not the spoilers. It's I was watching his live Instagram and I'm just going like, oh no, stop it. Don't. I'm like just wanted to like shut down. It's like something you just can't stop watching, and it's so bad it's going to be good. It's just like it's going to suck all the time that I need for other things. So don't watch this video. You'll get tempted. And the only way I could stop that cycle was text you in between that and go like, have you seen the clue? And I'm like, now it's not my headache. It's Nancy can think about it. I can move on to other stuff.
Yeah, how well did that work?
Yeah, you started sending me pictures of all your yarn and combinations and everything. And
Mhm.
later I had to tell you, I said, I'm kind of busy right now, so bye.
Mhm. Well, so I did some yarn diving,
You did.
and that sail yarn that I have,
Yeah, the seconds, if you can
the
want to call it
seconds,
that. Yeah.
that's just like bags of yarn that's asking to be used.
Oh, yes.
So
It's
look at the
happening.
pretty.
Hey, you had not shown me the turquoise and the gray.
Yes, I have.
No,
It's
you had not shown these together like this.
Yes, I have. This is the picture I sent you this morning.
Oh, maybe the colors are looking off.
It's the colors. I will put in, I will
Mhm.
send you the picture again to put in so people can
Yeah.
actually see it. But I'm thinking, Knox,
Mhm.
one can never have enough socks. You must be a Weasley, Expelliarmus, and Unicorn Blood. And I'm pretty sure I know what I want the colors to be. Like I want A, which is the color pop, to be orange, which was
Mhm.
Charan's idea.
Mhm.
And then B, which is either the lightest or darkest, is going to be Unicorn Blood, which was also Charan's idea.
Mhm.
And I really want to do it. However, I'm not supposed to do the mystery knit along. I have so many other projects. I have so many other things that need to get done. Clearly, the mystery crochet along did not happen in a timely manner.
Yeah.
But I want to, and it's all your fault. What I did decide, though, I thought about it. I thought about it a lot. And I only have 2 project bags that hold 5 skeins of yarn. There's this one that has my ghosts in it. And there's this one that has my Queen of Hearts shawl in it. And I'm not buying another giant project bag just for this. So I have decided that I have to finish my Queen of Hearts shawl before I'm allowed to start the other. So I haven't shown the Queen of Hearts shawl on the podcast yet.
Yeah, that's so
This
beautiful.
is, we're not going to be able to get it all. Yeah, I can't get it all on screen. Look at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So all that I have left on it is this lacy edging. Can I get it somewhere where it shows up? It showed up best against my face, didn't it?
Yeah.
So right here. So this is as far as I am on the edging. And I have to get all the way around it. And
that's the final edge.
And that's the final edge.
Okay.
And this was my project over the summer. I have been wanting to make it for over a year now. This is, again, Queen of Hearts by Charan. You can find it on her website. I will, of course, link it. And it uses 2 packs of my Morphing Mini Skeins. I used Mystery of the Scarlet Plum and Mystery of the Peacock Plum. And I'm loving it.
That's beautiful.
So I have to get that done so I can empty out this bag and I can put the new skeins in it. And so what I'm thinking, if I can trick myself, right, is that will take me some amount of time. The edging goes kind of slow.
Mhm.
And maybe that means it'll be into week 2 before I actually get to start the mystery knit along. And maybe by then there will be more spoilers that talk me out of doing it. Maybe that
But
initial rush will have passed. I don't know.
yeah,
I really want to do it.
the thing with his mystery knit alongs is, or I think in general too, is like once you have given into the project, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you kind of just make it work. But then if you're going to keep waiting for clue after clue after clue, and then see all the finished ones, at least for what happens with me is then I keep overthinking my color choices.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then I feel like I never have the right yarn for it because it won't work here, it won't work there, because now I know too much about the pattern.
Well, now, see, the other way that this could save me is this is all
Mhm.
the sale yarn, and there's some of these that I only have one skein in.
Yeah.
So, dear viewers, buy my yarn, save me from myself. You
Or
can,
they will be like, no, you need to knit that shawl. Nobody will buy.
maybe somebody else is seeing this and is also having that moment of, oh my God, I need to knit that shawl. They're right here. I am happy to sell them to you. And then you can save me from myself. That would be great.
Yeah. And Nancy was tempting me to knit that shawl for her. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'm telling you, you know you want to.
I know I want to, and it's very tempting. We shall
But
see.
you already talked me into knitting socks for Socktober. And I cast mine on before you, which was
Well, last week.
grumpy making. But did you
Yeah.
start your socks?
Well, yeah, you made me feel bad for not starting my socks, so I had to.
Good.
And I actually also made decent amount of progress. Oh, it kind of matches my background.
Ooh,
But
that's really pretty.
ignore the yarn thread hanging out here because I use the tail end to count the number of rows by passing the yarn back and forth. Uh, this is yarn that has been dyed by me actually, and it is one of my very initially dyed. I think this is the first time I dyed yarn. I did understand saturation, that the more dye you put, the deeper color you get. It's just that I'd never dyed before, so I didn't know how deep a color I would get.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like my test and everything. It was like, just let's put it on and see. But I absolutely do love the skein. It did come out really nice. It's not muddy at all.
It's
I
bright
like
and
it.
fun.
Yeah, it's really bright. I'm enjoying every stitch of it. And I was planning to do just a plain stock in it and just let the yarn shine. But when I was doing it, see the back of the sock?
I love the pooling that you're getting with that.
Yeah, it's getting these pink flashes in between. And I was kind of getting something similar in front, but I was getting no pink in the front. And everything was happening at the back. And in the front, I was getting yellows and nothing was happening at the back. And I'm just like, this is going to be like such a two-tone weird sock because, of course, I'd never dyed sock and knit with socks when I dyed this. So I had no idea what I was doing while dyeing it. But so I just decided to add a little bit of texture pattern in the front to kind of break up the thing. And it would also, because you use different amount of yarns with knits and pulls, somewhat. So I'm hoping it will kind of keep changing.
Cool.
And keep it interesting. And it's fun. And so the variation I'm adding is basically a variation from the Violet Waffles hat pattern.
Okay.
And I knit that last year, and it's a really fun knit. It's a free pattern, right?
Yeah, it is. I love that. It's my favorite hat pattern.
And so it's basically that stitch pattern is what I've adopted in this. And It's pretty simple. It keeps pushing you forward because it has, two rest rows in between where you're just knitting around, and there
Yeah.
are 2 rows of 2 knits, 2 purls, basically. And you just continue with that, and it makes this really fun textures. It's not ribbing, but it looks like ribbing. But at least you're not knitting and purling in every row, so it has
Yeah.
that bit of excitement to it.
Oh, cool.
You got me started on that.
Good. Because you made me start on this.
Yeah, but you have made so much progress. Oh, the colors look so similar to me.
I know, isn't that great?
Yeah, maybe that's what influenced me to pull out this from my stash.
Here's my cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do a similar cake photo op, right? See?
Yeah.
It's so close.
Mine is the Ya Ding Dong colorway from my movie night club back in May, I think, this year. The movie was Eurovision, The Story of Fire Saga, which is a Will Ferrell movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, watch it if that description is a thing that sounds like it would be fun for you. I mean, it's Will Ferrell doing Eurovision, and it's exactly what that sounds like. If you're into that, I recommend it. If you're not, then don't bother. But it was fun, and this is inspired by one of the sweaters Rachel McAdams wears in the movie, and I really love it. And I love the sort of cacophony of color that I have going on. It makes me happy.
Looking really good.
So I just look at that. I just finished turning the heel.
Oh, nice.
So I'm a quarter of the way through the socks. Woohoo!
Yay.
See.
I'm surprised I even made this one. I just sat one evening and I started it, and I messaged you. I said, okay, I'm doing socks. And I got all of this done in that one evening just watching a show. And I was like, oh, these could go really quick. And then I stopped.
Well, that's because your knitting obsession is that blanket right now, right?
Yeah, and it's the thing with the blanket is that it's a similar feel, right? Like I'm just like, okay, it's just like one other mini skein and then 2 rows of this. And then I go, okay, I'll just start the other mini skein. And then I'm like, well, it's only 10 rows of the mini skein, and then I'll be done with another color. And it just keeps pushing me forward like that typical potato chip knitting.
Yep.
And now because I feel like I'm almost halfway through, I'm just like, oh, I can just push through this and get it done with. So that's my other reason for not starting the mystery knit along right now is I'm like, this project might get abandoned if I start that, because that is sounding so cool. And this one is like, well, I kind of know what it's going to be. So
okay, so you need to finish the blanket, and then I need to harass you some more about starting the mystery knit along with me.
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
Well, because all of the enabling, I did talk about my swatch last time, but I did in fact start my baby blanket. Your baby blanket's cooler than my baby blanket. I'm just going to put that out there. But here's mine. Woohoo.
Oh, nice.
I'm really happy with how it's working up.
I just love seed stitch.
Yeah. I don't like doing seed stitch, but I love the border on this. So this is, I think, 12% complete, something like that. I made my standard progress charts for both the baby blanket and the socks, so I can try to get them done in a somewhat timely manner, because I'm not going to lie. I'm already bored of the baby blanket, but I need to get it done.
It's
So
out of stock in it.
it's
garter
it's
stitch,
garter.
right?
It's
Yeah.
a lot of garter. So it's just knitting. And so if I sit down on, it was going to be podcast knitting is what it was. But now I'm sitting here knitting on the sock because socks are a little bit easier for podcast knitting. And now because it's October, I want to get the socks done in October. So now I feel like that's the thing that I need to pick up and knit first. So I have a goal. I'm trying to knit 15 rows.
Hey,
every day.
Nobody told me about this, that the socks have to be finished in October as well.
They don't have to be.
Okay. I thought October was, okay, you knit on socks, period.
Yeah.
You don't have to finish them in October.
No,
right?
but I'm trying to challenge myself to finish mine in October. So this is the thing that I find myself picking up and knitting because I'm trying to get it done.
Yeah, I had chosen actually to do, I brought the socks up here is basically to knit on them. I'm like, okay, I want to do the blanket. The blanket is, evening watching television, knitting.
Mhm.
And this is going to be podcast knitting. But then I was taking a picture of the blanket and everything, and I'm like, I really want to finish this blanket, so I'm just gonna knit on it.
I'm really glad that you have a project that's like, work on me.
Yeah, it's important to have projects like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have anything else to share? Oh, my last thing to share is a finished object. I finished something. Can you believe it? It's even knitting.
What did you finish?
I finished socks.
Ooh.
I was almost done with them last episode.
Yeah.
But now they are done. And because proof.
Ends are woven in.
Ends are all woven in.
Oh, nice. I love that rainbow gradient on that.
Me too. I am very much looking forward to wearing these socks. I haven't worn them yet because I wanted to show them off on the podcast. And as soon as I start wearing them, then they're just in my wardrobe and I forget that I've even made them, right?
Yeah.
But I am very much looking forward to wearing them. They're so
I
happy.
feel now I've not finished any object for a while.
You
Now
finished your quilt top.
Yeah, I've been doing quilt tops. I can count that as, well, they are not finished yet. They're just quilt tops are done. But I need to get to quilting them. That will get done. But I was also very busy in the studio. I had to finish a firing today, and the kiln does have a lot more pieces. And I was going to do a live unloading today.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just so much stuff on my agenda today that I was like, no, I think the live will have to wait. But I will have updated the website by the time this episode airs. There, I've committed to it. So it means I need to update the website before this episode airs. So
thankfully, you're the one who pushes the button to upload the episode.
Yeah, so but still, then it's just one other thing I need to get done after editing is update my website and then upload the episode.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and do that. There are I have added a lot of mugs, which I always do, but there are bowls this time. So that's going to be fun.
Neat.
But yeah, I'm adding stuff as much as I can. And because holiday season is right around the corner.
Ugh, it is.
I know it's for me, October has hit and it just feels like another year passes by.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, so you were busy in the studio, so you haven't had anything finished. Do you have anything close to done for a goal for next episode?
Um, I could work on my muscle burrow hat
Yes.
or muscleberg, whatever.
Pick
I don't
one,
know
say
how
it with confidence. I don't know.
Yeah, that hat, which I was knitting on the very first episode, which was almost done in the first episode. I've been kind of using it as an excuse for travel knitting, but the thing is, I don't travel anywhere, so I rarely
Yeah.
get to knit on it. So I think I'm at the point where I need to now reduce stitches, and I know once I start reducing stitches, that thing would be just done in no time.
Yeah.
And I'm like I think we had spoken in the first episode that there are these projects that you enjoy knitting on so much you don't want them to end, so you just kind of keep them languishing till the very end.
Gomez is here.
Yes, you know that black shadow which just appeared in front of the screen, that's a cat.
Let's see. Can we get him to look up? Gomez, look up.
Hey Gomez, do you see those
Look
blinking
up.
eyes?
There we go.
There we go.
Hi. This is Gomez. Internet, this is Gomez. Gomez, this is the internet. It's like, what? It's just Charan.
I like
What are
that
you
it's just
doing?
like this black shadow with eyes that appears in front of the screen
He's my
with your
little
black
void.
background, your black t-shirt,
Yep.
and he just disappears.
Yeah. That's my baby. What are you doing? Now he just has to climb all over me and
Yeah.
show his butt to the internet because he's a cat. And he's gone.
What did he break?
He just slipped on something. He's fine. Misjudged that landing.
Mhm.
And now he's just being weird. I think he just went after a binder clip. It knows
He
what it
basically
did.
wants your attention, so he's like, maybe this will get her to listen to me.
Nah, he's just playing games with himself. Anyway, I think that's all I have.
Yeah,
You
that's
have-
all I have.
Oh,
to
I have a question. What's behind you?
this thing.
Have you shared it on the
This is
podcast?
maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But if I haven't, it is one of the first improv quilts that I did. Again, it's only a quilt top that is done, and it's a very interesting concept. This is again from the Brave Patch School, Sherry Linwood's book, and um, it's called Floating Squares,
Mhm.
and uh, a principle. So there is no pattern to it or anything. It kind of starts off with this concept that, oh, you take, individual squares and a random size, cut without scissors, cut without a ruler, and then you start patching them up using filler stuff in between. I kind of started it like that, but then I said, no, I kind of want to do stripes. Then there was this temple picture, which I was really excited with. And I'm like, I kind of want to make it look like the temple, but then it didn't move in that direction. So it kept bouncing around in so many different directions. And at the end of it, I really like the way it came together.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I'll insert a picture of the entire quilt top in here, and you can see it was a really fun quilt to make, and you always learn something from it. Like I kind of learned how I want to space things in a different way next time, and I learned how to join all these weird pieces so that my quilt top still lies flat, because that's quite a challenge when you are not using a scissor, a ruler every time.
Yeah.
So, but it was a really fun quilt to make. And this is kind of what got me hooked onto it. I'm like, well, if I can make that without any pattern at all and still kind of reflect what I was trying to make.
Mhm.
So you can see the picture of the temple and the quilt and judge for yourself if it reflects that. So
I think it does. I suppose our viewers can decide that for themselves as well, but I'll just tell you it does. It also reflects your sock.
yeah, well, if that's the thing with improv or doing something which where you are making the decisions along the way
Mhm.
rather than following a pattern or following certain colors or values that you're supposed to use in a particular quilt, is you can really put your own voice into it
Yeah.
and go like, no, I kind of, and you might start with this notion that, oh, I want everything to be straight lined and angled and everything. And then while doing it, go like, nah, that's not me. And then just change it. And it's fine.
Well, that's cool. I really am enjoying watching you go on your improv quilting journey.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of insight into uh, what one does and why they do it. It's not just basically about making modern quilts or improv quilts. It's really, there's so much self-discovery in it, figuring out and even just realizing as to why there were certain parts in it that you enjoyed and what are certain parts in it that you didn't enjoy,
Yeah.
which really then speaks to you going like, oh, like if it's a person who really likes to use a ruler, go like, I hated the fact that I couldn't use the ruler. That makes me so uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
you just kind of know your boundaries that no, that is something which you really need to do. If you need to use a ruler, use a ruler. There's nobody telling you you cannot use one.
Yeah.
And I, on the other hand, find it so freeing that I don't have to use the ruler. So it's like, I don't have to bother if my ruler slips or no. I'm not using it. It can do whatever it wants. So it's those things which just makes you realize the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
And the kind of things you want to make.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I had for today.
Okay. Well, then I think it's time for us to say bye. But before that, make sure that you're subscribed to our channel if you're enjoying our videos, and hit the bell button if you would like to be notified when we do a new episode. I took
And
your
definitely
line.
leave comments because that's how we know that you are watching.
Yeah.
And that's how we know what to talk about the next time around.
You mean here's a comment you guys can leave. Encourage Charan to join me for the Stephen West mystery knit along. There's nothing like peer pressure.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like peer pressure for sure. Anyway, take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I just like did the fish mouth thing for a minute.
Yeah, were you saying something?
Nope. I
Okay.
started to say hi, welcome to Where Clay Meets Yarn, and then I had this moment of, wait, do I normally say hi? And then I got stuck on that, and then I was just
No words came out.
okay. I'm gonna try this again. You ready? So I'll take that as a no.